We can only tell how strong your case will be after evaluating the quality of the papers and declarations on both sides of the table. As the discovery deadline for the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit approaches, the case is said to have a particularly stressful week, a legal agenda. Attorney Jeremy Hogan claims that several documents are still awaiting delivery. In the video, the XRP-compatible lawyer expresses his surprise that the last two motions, one to compel Ripple to produce internal Slack discussions and the other to compel the SEC to make internal notes, were presented late in the discovery process. He says he was surprised by the timing. The responses are due today and tomorrow, respectively. He expresses his astonishment that the most recent two motions, one to force Ripple to provide internal Slack conversations and the other to compel the SEC to create internal notes, were filed late in the discovery process. He says he was taken aback by the timing of the submissions. And after the 31st is done, these problems. So I expect this next week to proceed very fast because I think that the judge will demand oral argument on these matters, said Mr. Hogan. The SEC is doing depositions without the documentation, notably Slack chats. And that is usually a mistake, particularly in the federal court, where the deponent is unlikely to be shot for a second time. The lawyer used the chance to study the motions on the strategy of each side of the case. These two motions are highly intriguing because they demonstrate the gap between the approaches taken by the two parties to the problem. Concerning the SEC, which is trying to establish that the XRP has been sold as an investment contract and therefore security, probably since the SEC realizes that it is a loss of argument. The agency will remain away from the technical issues of XRP as the ledger was created, its decentralized nature, etc. Instead, the SEC will fight from a marketing perspective. The allegation here is that Ripple sold XRP as a security device, regarded it as a share, sought to influence XRP prices, etc. It's a flank attack and not the greatest case, but all the SEC could have, he stated. Specifically, concerning the SEC, which is attempting to establish that XRP has been sold as an investment contract and therefore security, most likely due to the SEC's realization that it is a losing argument, the agency will remain away from the technological aspects of XRP. The complaint has requested that several Ripple workers provide Slack messages, including 3 members of the Ripple marketing team, 1 of the Ripple XRP market team, and the Ripple finance team. What has the marketing team to do with whether or not XRP is a safety? Absolutely nothing. Nothing. But they have all to do with how Ripple has sold and processed XRP, he added, adding that about 1/3 of SEC's overall demand has to do with marketing or the effect Ripple has on XRP. Concerning Ripple's approach, Mr. Hogan recalled the request for the SEC's internal records that the judge directed the SEC to establish whether XRP and Ether were securities. It might change in the next week when the discovery ends. In the most recent motion, Ripple advisor Matt Solomon stated, discovery confirmed, in this case, that during much of the same period, the market participants and the SEC itself were still uncertain whether or not digital assets in general and XRP in particular should remain subject to federal securities legislation. It probably indicates that Ripple has proof that the SEC itself is uncertain if XRP itself is secure. The plaintiff will concentrate on what Ripple has done, in particular XRP, and Ripple will focus on what the SEC has done, especially comprehending the nature of XRP by the agency and lacking appropriate advice. Only if we see the quality of documents and filings on either side do we know how robust their case is, the lawyer said, emphasizing the importance of these motions and hearings as the building blocks of the case. Both the plaintiff and the defendant will focus on what Ripple has done, namely XRP, and what the SEC has done, particularly in failing to grasp the nature of XRP and failing to provide adequate guidance. Only by examining the quality of the papers and files on both sides can we determine how strong their respective cases are, the attorney explained, emphasizing the importance of motions and hearings as the building blocks of a case in general. Final thoughts: SEC versus Ripple case is going to experience a hell of a week as the discovery deadline approaches, a legal agenda. Lawyer Jeremy Hogan reveals his astonishment that the latter two motions were submitted late in discovery, one to force Ripple to provide Slack internal conversations, and another to force the SEC to generate internal notes. The SEC is doing depositions without the documentation, notably Slack chats, and that is usually a mistake, he says. Ripple is suing the SEC to determine whether XRP and Ether were securities. Lawyer Chris Hogan said that Ripple has proof that the SEC itself is uncertain if XRP itself is secure. The plaintiff will concentrate on what Ripple has done, in particular XRP, and Ripple will focus on what the SEC has done. Only if we see the quality of the documents and filings on either side do we know how robust their case is, Mr. Hogan said. It was stated in the most recent motion filed by Ripple advisor Matt Solomon that discovery confirmed in this case that market participant and the SEC itself was still uncertain whether or not digital assets in general and XRP specifically should continue to be subject to federal securities legislation during much of the same period. It most likely means that Ripple has evidence that the SEC itself is unsure about the security of XRP itself as a cryptocurrency.